heating pad, wallet, glasses. Hola amigos, Daniela here from Through the Looking Glass. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to make a video about what's in my hospital bag. I always dreamed of becoming a frequent flyer. If this channel wasn't about disability, I'm sure it would be a traveling channel. True story. Unfortunately, what I mean by frequent flyer is hospital frequent flyer. Hell, I've been so many times to the hospital in this last month that by now I should be upgraded. I expect private room, no waits, refreshment rooms, the whole deal. Why not? I deserve it. On a more serious note, some of us with chronic illnesses may end up in the hospital room more than we would like. And a lot of the times it just takes us by surprise. Nobody plans that they're going to the emergency room that day. Some trips may be a little bit more planned. I have myself gone to the emergency room a few times because of migraines that are out of control, and I have had no relief for like 5-6 days, and it's just becoming that vicious cycle of the pain creating tension, and then the tension creating more pain, and then you never seem to be able to break that. And sometimes a trip to the emergency room, they can give you medications there that can help break that cycle. So that's a little bit more of a planned trip, because I'm like, okay, please ask my partner, drive me to the hospital, drop me off at the emergency room. I can grab a few things that I may need and it's not so bad. But I've had a few trips this month where it has been a true emergency. I've had 2 anaphylaxis reactions and I never had them before. This is something completely new to me. And between my migraine trips and those 2 anaphylaxis reactions that I have found myself many times in a hospital waiting room. Once you're stable, you're basically just waiting forever. When those situations happen, you never know how long you're gonna be there. Sometimes you're there for an hour, a couple of hours. Sometimes I've been there for 6, 7, 8 hours. And hospital rooms are cold, uncomfortable, noisy, bright. So there's a few things that can make that visit a little bit more comfortable. So what I did is I actually pre-packed a hospital bag. And no, I'm not pregnant. I'm not talking about maternity hospital bag. I'm talking about a emergency room hospital bag. So I'm gonna go through the items that I have found very beneficial to have with me. Many of those items, I actually have them in the bag at all times. This is my dedicated hospital bag. I don't use for anything else. Some things are things that I use on a daily basis and need to be thrown last minute. You can just put a little sticky note on that bag saying, please put this in the bag, because I find that when I'm on a stretcher being wheeled to the ambulance by the paramedics, I'm not the one grabbing stuff. I'm not the one packing that bag, and my kids don't know where my stuff is. So just having a sticky note saying, charger by the bedside table, or if you have an extra charger, which is what I do, I leave one in the bag, but say grab my wallet from my purse or grab my phone, to make sure that those things are in the bag. So the solution I found is to have a pre-hospital bag ready. If I never get to use it, great, perfect. But if I do need it, it's a lifesaver. It really makes a difference on your whole experience. So the first thing is to start with a reasonably good size bag. So you don't want just to be like a crossbody bag, because there's some bigger items that I want to include in that bag. But you also don't want it to be a suitcase. You don't want to be hauling a suitcase to the hospital. So I got this bag from my daughter for Christmas, and it's actually a travel bag. And so it becomes a fairly decent size bag. So in this bag, there's a couple of zippers on the outside. There's one zipper here, and then there is one zipper in the back. So I usually will stick my health card here. So I'm from Canada and we all have a health card. What you might want to put in here if you live in other countries is any sort of insurance paperwork, insurance card, insurance information. But we have universal health care in Canada, so we require to have a health card. And this is what they'll first ask when you come into the hospital, or if an ambulance comes and paramedics are attending you, somebody's always grabbing your health card. So as soon as they give it back to me, I put in this little pouch here because it's easily accessible and it's easy to find. The first thing that I will throw in there is a really big scarf, kind of a blanket scarf. And a lot of the medications they give you make you feel shaky and cold, and hospitals are also cold places. So I always have a scarf that's gonna go in here. The second item is a travel pillow. This is actually a pretty cool one because it is a blanket as well. So if I'm extra cold, I can use both. So this opens into a blanket, but it also folds up into a little square, and it's a pretty nice pillow. And that really helps with my back. A lot of the times I have been waiting in hard chairs in the hallway for hours, and this is a lifesaver for my back. Next thing, water bottle. So especially now with COVID, I find that you're wearing a mask all the time. Nobody's offering water to you. It's hard to fetch water. So I like to have my own water bottle, especially if I have to take pills and things like that. I'll have my water with me. Even if I don't fill this up before I go to the hospital, at least once I'm there, I can ask the nurses to fill it up for me. And then I don't have to keep asking them to bring me more water. So they just do that once and then I'll have my water. Another thing, especially if you're going to the hospital because of migraines, it's an eye mask. So hospitals are very bright, and it's that fluorescent cold light. Even if you don't have a migraine, already makes your brain hurts. So definitely an eye mask to, you know, keep that bright light away. Wallet. So like I said, I am putting the wallet in this little outer bag here because it has my health card. Always have my EpiPen with me. So that would probably be with my wallet. So when my kids grab my wallet, I would say I would have a sticky note, you know, grab the EpiPen as well. Glasses. Even if you wear contact lenses, having glasses can be helpful because sometimes the dryness of the air gets your eyes very irritated, and especially if I'm having an anaphylaxis reaction, a lot of the times I'll have a reaction on my eyes as well, so I can't be wearing any contacts. So I'll have actually 2 pair of glasses here. Those are kind of a little bit older ones, older prescription ones. So these are not ones that I use on a regular basis, so I can actually leave it in this bag. One is a sunglasses and the other one is just my reading glasses. And the sunglasses, again, they help with light, especially if a doctor comes into the room and is talking to you and examining you. You can't have your mask, your eye mask on, so you need to have eye contact. So I put my sunglasses on and that helps with the glare. And this is just for reading. So I keep those 2 in this little case here. In this little pouch here, I have my headphones, cord, and a block charger. So this is kind of like my electronic pouch. So that goes in here, and that stays here all the time. I have extras of these, so I can afford to leave that here. And then this little baggie, cute, huh? First aid, is where I keep a lot of like little things. So always have a little notebook and pen. Sometimes you have to write down names of medication, things like that. A energy bar, fiber bar, something like that. A snack. I'm telling you, they will starve you on those places. Gum. Very important, especially if you've been sick, if you've been throwing up and you're just there at the hospital, they don't even give you water and your mouth tastes bad and it's just, ugh. Gum. I have chronic issues with my sinuses and my nose is always stuffed up, and especially if I'm having an allergic reaction, it's even worse. If I can't breathe, I get panicked. I feel like I'm suffocating. So Otrivine is a discongestant. It just helps me breathe better. It's a vasoconstrictor, so it basically makes the small little vessels around your nasal passages to constrict, widening the passage and making it easier to breathe. So it's just very helpful for me, because if on top of everything else I feel I can't breathe, it's just like, you know, I feel like I'm having a panic attack. So that's very helpful. Chapstick, Burt's Bee. That's the one that I have it in here. Again, hospitals are very dry places. Your lips get very cracked. I always like to have a lip balm with me. Hand cream, because I also have a hand sanitizer, because hospitals really gross me out. Like if I touch anything, I'm just like, ugh. Anyways, I use the hand sanitizer, but then your hands get really dry, so then I have a hand cream. Hair elastic. The one thing that really annoys paramedics, I've noticed that, is my hair. I have really long hair, and usually when you're in a lot of pain or you're not feeling well or you're throwing up, your hair is going like all over the place, and they're always like, does somebody have anything to tie her hair up? So here it is, a hair elastic. Some wipes or tissues. I have a little medication container box here, which I keep my most commonly used medications, especially for medications that you're sort of on a schedule and you have to take at certain times of the day. If you just happen to be at the hospital, they don't necessarily have what you take outside of the hospital, so you may miss a dose. So having your medications with you is important, especially if you're on a scheduled timeline. And this one here is, I think, one of the most important ones. It's a puke bag. In the medical world, it's called an emesis bag. But basically, it's a clear bag. It pops open like that, so you can get sick in here. And they can actually, I know it sounds a little bit gross, but they can actually see what is it that you're throwing up, because there was one weird time I was throwing up white foam. It looked like I had swallowed a bathtub worth of bath bubbles, because everything that was coming out of me was like bubbly white, and it was just foaming inside the bag. Then there are the times, sorry if this is too much information, but then there are other times where you're like throwing up bile, or you can actually see if you're thrown up like medications that you've taken before, you can see residues of it. So in the hospital, they actually like to see what is it that's coming out of you. But what I like is because it's super compact, you can easily have in your bag, and sometimes when you're on the way to the hospital, especially if somebody that you know, like a family member, is giving you a ride to the hospital and you're in your own car and you get sick, you want to have this. Always have an extra mask. Sometimes I actually react to the masks that they give you at the hospital. They have like different ones, and I know that this is one that I don't react. So I always like to have my own, just in case, you know, there's a few times that I broke on a rash here. So I like to have my own mask. So all this here goes in this little bag. And I will put the eye mask and the EpiPen in here too. And this goes in the bag. And then the last two things, which often come with me, this one is my migraine helmet. So if I'm going to the hospital because of a migraine, this is coming with me. This has ice bags in here, or those gel freezing bags in here, and I keep it in the freezer. It just goes on your head like so. Ooh, glorious. Seriously, it's the best thing ever. Anyways, it also has a strap here that you can apply pressure, and that feels really good to squeeze your head really hard when you have a migraine. So I may show up at the hospital looking like this. No shame. And then the last one, because by the time I actually get to the hospital, I have already been in so much pain. My muscles are so tense, right? The neck and the shoulders. So this is a heating pad. I won't be able to use it on my way to the hospital, but once I get there and I get parked in that little corner waiting for 2 hours to see the doctor, I can usually find a plug. I'll plug that in and then I'll put that on my back. So together with my little pillow, I'll put my pillow, I'll put this on top of the pillow, rest my back against that, have my ice helmet, my little blanket, my little goggles. Actually, here, let's do the whole thing. Here, I will put my heating pad with my blanket on my back. I will get my little blanket. I will put my mask up, my helmet, and I'll just be like this the whole time. Look as miserable as you can. Because then maybe they'll see you sooner. Who knows? Anyways, that is what it's in my hospital bag. Let me know down below in the comment box if you guys have something like that, if you have ever found yourself going to the hospital and not having things that you need. What would you include in that bag? And also I will have links for all of these items that I frequently use in my hospital bag in the description link below. There are an Amazon associate link. That means if you buy any of those items by clicking on that link, I get a very small percentage, but it kind of adds up at the end of the day. And it also helps me know that you guys are enjoying this channel, supports this channel so that I can keep making more videos. It won't cost anything extra to you. It will cost exactly the same. And they will just know that you bought this item because you heard from me. And last but not least, bonus points if you have a medical alert bracelet to actually be wearing it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're also a frequent flyer, I hope those ideas are gonna make your life a little bit easier. Please subscribe, hit that like button, share. It helps me know that you're enjoying this content, and I will keep making more of it. Anyways, this is it for today. Ciao for now e até a próxima!